to the South Miami area, so hopefully we won't be inundated with rain and a possible hurricane. But with that, good to be here with you guys today. Lots going on. As we know, the hottest ticket in television right now is the Democratic National Convention. We're going to talk a little bit more about that in just a few. Want to get some more people in here on the broadcast. Again, talking about entertainment news. And something that's really cool is that at the Democratic National Convention this year, of course, we have a whole bevy of political notables and celebrities making a great showing for this year's convention. Eva Longoria hosted the first night with Tracy Ellis Ross and Kerry Washington also hosting it tonight. Julia Louis-Dreyfus wraps up the celebrity host for the convention. Last night, pop phenom Billie Eilish, who earlier this year swept the Grammys in every major category, winning 5 and taking home the most coveted awards, including Song of the Year, Record of the Year, and Best New Artist, performed for the first time publicly her new song with her brother Phineas, The Future, but not before getting political, calling to the forefront the state of our current, of the climate of our current country and her own opinion. Which led me to want to have this conversation about how music gets political. What's up, Drew Shepard? What's going on, Ariana? Hey, Pablo. Good to see you guys. Let's keep it 100. Music and musicians have always been the original influencers. Before we had people who claimed to be influencers, music was sending out messages of activism for decades. This goes all the way back to the 50s and 60s, calling to mind things that need to change, not only in our country, but in our world. And so you have young pop stars like Billie Eilish. Hey, Alex. Young pop stars like Billie Eilish, who is all of 18 years old, hyper Gen Z member, being very aware, very woke, if you will. I hate using that word woke. I hate using it. It's like people like to weaponize the word woke. But she's very young, but yet still present in what's going on, and using the world stage to voice her opinion on all that has transpired in the last 4 years. Last night, we saw former President Barack Obama shots were fired, and his opinion on Donald Trump, as well as former presidential nominee Hillary Clinton, who also had some things to say about what's happening in our country and what we must do come November to make sure another 4 years doesn't go down the same way these last 4 years has. Pablo, I agree. Gen Z, they are unrelenting, right? Zero chill with Gen Z, but there's also something to be said about that because they are fearless. Billie Eilish is fearless. So, she's not the only one in recent years, going all the way back, I would say, let's take it back to 2016, where we saw Kendrick Lamar at the Grammys get political, Beyonce at Super Bowl 50 get political, which was flamed by hyper-conservatives, very conservative people, as how dare this black woman perform on the stage that is so sacred as the Super Bowl halftime show. We all remember she performed Formation, and she called to mind with her costuming that of the Black Panthers, and it was a conversation. 2017, Lady Gaga also opened up her Super Bowl halftime performance with singing "God Bless America" and having a very heated political stance there. So, it's safe to say that musicians are not afraid to talk about things that are happening, and that's what we want them to do. We want them to use their platforms. Another person who has been apolitical, but as of late has become very political, is Taylor Swift. Who would have thought? Taylor Swift, who for the longest time refused to say anything about politics, now has been very verbose when it comes to her political standings and her political leanings. Also, Childish Gambino, This Is America. Anytime he performed that, either on SNL, at any award show, any performance of that, was always greeted with the message of, yes, this is what we're experiencing in America, especially being black. But last night, Billie Eilish, which was an interesting choice. Do you guys agree that it was an interesting choice for her to perform at the DNC anyways, which was a smart choice, though, because I see what they were doing. Much like only giving Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez 1 minute to say what she needed to say, even though she is probably the biggest superstar in the Democratic Party, next to Kamala accepting her vice presidential nomination last night. They know what they're doing. They're realizing that, yes, people of color, marginalized groups of people, are here for those two stars. They're here for Billie Eilish. Why? Because she's young. Because she is antithetical. Hey, Brett, she's antithetical to what a pop star is in 2020. and Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, who is an avid fan of RuPaul's Drag Race. Good for her. But also, the people, younger generations see themselves in her, right? The way she speaks, the way she uses social media, the platforms that she engages on, what she says, her clapback. Her clapbacks are incredible on social media. So the Democratic Party knows what they're doing. Drew asked, did her performance increase viewership of the DNC? All will be revealed. Sometimes there's a latency when it comes to ratings and who's viewing, and now more than ever, I think people are not really wanting to release those numbers. That's a great question. I'll tweet that out at Haps when we're done. I do that research. But Ariana says Billie Eilish posted a video on her Instagram saying to vote for Joe Biden as well, and she posted it on her Instagram story. I'm not shocked. I'm not shocked. Billie Eilish has been very vocal about everything from Black Lives Matter to trans lives to LGBTQ plus initiatives. She has been speaking about these things long before she was actually a superstar or a pop star. And again, she's very, very young. So that just leans on how invested and how present these younger millennials and Gen Z are into what's happening, into political issues, into anything that affects them, because the generations of going to college, right? You're taught to go to college, get a job, 401k, retire, and that's it. Live the American dream. The Gen Z and millennials are realizing that that's not the case anymore. That's done. There really is no more American dream. They're not able. Gen Z and millennials are not even able to buy a house, to have a home. They're going to college. They're in debt because they've been told that's what you do. You get a degree, you have a career, but yet they cannot find careers. They cannot find jobs, but they're paying back these exorbitant amounts of student loans, and they have this unsurmounting amount of debt because they bought into what the American dream was supposed to be. So that was one of the takeaways last night from the DNC. Also, Kerry Washington, great host. Eva Longoria, great host. Tracy Ellis Ross, great host. Of course, those are all people that have been in bed with ABC on shows on ABC. Eva Longoria, of course, Desperate Housewife, Tracy Ellis Ross on Black-ish, and Kerry Washington on Scandal. But those are also celebrities who have been speaking out for the Democratic Party for years. They weren't just hired celebrities, hired talents. These are people who have given, who have campaigned, who have canvassed for the DNC for years now. So it's no surprise that they reached out and got them in on the fun last night. I'm excited to see tonight's telecast. And I think they've done a pretty good job of, in this time of social distancing and Corona and doing everything from home, working from home, they've done a great job of keeping it entertaining, because we have to be honest, it's also it's for entertainment as well. There's a producer, there's people who put this together that make sure that eyeballs are on it. Yes, at the core is politics, but they also want to make sure that there's eyeballs on it too, because there's money to be made when it comes to these telecasts, especially on a network like ABC, who is owned by Disney. And Disney, as we know, is a cash cow with Marvel purchasing 21st Century Fox and everything that they own and everything that's in their entertainment real estate and in their wheelhouse. They make money hand over fist, and politics is chock full of money, and politicians love to make money. So let's see what else we have here. Billie Eilish, Billie Eilish. Ariana says it was really awesome to see that so many celebrities are getting political. Cardi B and Joe Biden had a video interview as well together, which was really interesting. Cardi B is another interesting person to talk about politics, because we know a couple years ago she went toe to toe in a good way with Bernie Sanders. And if you look at Cardi B's tweets over the years in regards to politics, she is super informed. And people tend to write Cardi B off. One, because of her beginnings. She was a stripper, right? A reality star, influencer, celebrity. But of course now she's a Grammy award-winning superstar, rapstress, rap superstar, paving the way for so many other great females to come after her, much like Lil' Kim, Foxy Brown, and the female MCs of before did for Cardi. But she is absolutely ain't politically inclined and knows what she's talking about. It's very well read, very well spoken when it comes to politics. And again, people are shocked because the stereotype is, or the trope is, someone like Cardi, which I hate saying, but that's what people have said. Someone like Cardi, what does she know about politics? It's like they're telling LeBron James to shut up and dribble. People tell Cardi B shut up and rap, right? But then when they come out with these mutant powers that you didn't know that they had, people are blown away. They're like, "Whoa, what's going on here? What's happening?" But back to musicians being influencers. That's the power of music. And I've said this time and time and time again. And people have been doing this for years, you guys. Rappers have been influencing us and talking about what's happening for years. Country music stars even have been talking about what's happening for years. In the 70s, all so with the Vietnam War, and even in the 60s, there Jimi Hendrix, oh God, the Doors, so many people have used their talents and their gifts of music to speak out. It's just now it's more accessible because we have things like what we're doing here, going live, technology, social media, where we can reach millions instantly who want to hear what we have to say, who can't wait to hear what we have to say. We have outlets that will paraphrase and take bites and make them viral in a matter of seconds because of the access we have via social media and technology. Bob Dylan, great one. Ariana Blatt says, people told Taylor Swift to keep quiet about politics for years. Of course. Why they told Taylor Swift to keep quiet about politics? One, because she's a woman. God forbid a woman have anything to say about politics. And because and of course she's talked about this so much, about how she was just told to write songs. And she was a machine, much like Britney Spears, who is the victim, I would think, of the machine that is the record business. So is Taylor Swift. So now people are fed up. It's not just black people and people of color that are fed up. It's all marginalized groups of people. All marginalized groups of people, be it gay white men, be it anyone that's told they can have a seat at the table. We're done. And it's a civil unrest and everything that's happened in the last 90 days. And I say this time and time again, that has allowed us. We've been fed up. We've just been too scared to say anything about it. But music isn't. Music is not afraid. And so I welcome Billie Eilish and anyone that has something to say and is using their gifts to do it. Rihanna. Who else? There's just so I wish there's a list. Also, Pharrell Williams and Jay-Z on Friday are dropping a song called Entrepreneur from a curated project that Pharrell's doing with Time Magazine that's drawing to light the inequalities of blackness in America. He's speaking to so many great people in this project, from musicians to black businesses to older generations, and just giving this really cool perspective and melding this really cool experience of people of color and sharing their stories through time. It's Pharrell. I mean, Pharrell is one of the musical geniuses of our time. The Neptune sound, you can't fade the Neptune sound. I wish Pharrell was still giving us production like he did in the early 2000s, all the way through the 2010s. You know, people evolve musically, they evolve creatively, but Pharrell has been not only just a genius when it comes to music, but also a genius when it comes to fashion and pushing forward the culture and having nuance and pushing forward the culture. So that drops this Friday with him and Jay-Z, who better than to talk about black businesses and giving back to black businesses than Jay-Z, who has created and who has given extensively to black businesses. So that's this Friday. The song is called Entrepreneur. That's dropping via Time Magazine. And then you can also go online and, of course, read the curated works from Pharrell and his interviews via Time. So that's exciting as well. Again, people using their platforms to bring change and not be afraid to bring change. And I say not be afraid to bring change because we've been so afraid. I think this year we've been more afraid than ever with, of course, COVID, and being forced to stay indoors and being forced to have our lives just completely changed and not knowing how to deal with that, the trauma of that. It's very traumatizing. And I know it's a dramatic word to use, trauma, but it's very traumatizing. That's what it is. Zero comments after the one say just because they have a platform doesn't mean their opinion is valid. I disagree with that. It does. Who are we to say that their opinion's not valid, especially if it's vetted, well-researched, and experienced? How can we not say their opinion is valid? That's like me saying this comment you just had isn't valid. That's your opinion, right? You find validity in what you just said, and I'm sure there is in some capacity, but there's also validity in what they're saying and in their capacity. And majority of the time, what I'm seeing is celebrities who are speaking out have receipts, can back it up beyond opinion, because again, with social media, everyone has a platform to have an opinion, but it's those people who say, okay, well, listen, this is how I feel, but also here is examples, here is my reasoning, and here is proof that what I'm saying has merit. Foundation of journalism, right? factual, actual, vetted. And these celebrities that, like Pharrell, like Jay-Z, or anyone that's been speaking out, if you want to get really entertainment newsy with it, probably have a team of people who are making sure that everything they say is very well crafted before they put it out there, because we know it's hard to extract and to retract things once they've gone. Once they've exited your mouth and are spoken word or written word, it's hard to, having retractions is kind of like, not the best look. And no one has time to have a bad look. Everything needs to be a good look. So, hey, I think their opinion has some validity. That's just my opinion, in my own humble opinion. But I implore and encourage more younger generations, more Gen Z, more millennials, and hell, even older than that. Keep on saying what you guys say. That's the only way change is going to come. So good for Billie Eilish last night. The song that she performed was called The Future with her brother Phineas. And you can go on YouTube and see the lyric video for that. They don't have a actual video out. Yeah, it's a great song, a great vibe. I'm loving this R&B from Billie Eilish. Who would have thought? I thought at first, The Ocean, when she first came out, people were like, God, this is a new sound. It's like this new, like, who's this girl that's whispering, and it's ASMR type of music. But that song last night is a bop. Love it. Kind of a disco-y R&B vibe with her sultry vocals, which for someone of her age, this is only the beginning for Billie Eilish. Those vocals, I'm sure, are capable of so much more than what we've got from her debut album and all the EPs before, and for this new album that's coming up. So I'm excited to see what's coming down the pike for Billie and her brother Phineas, who in his own right is an incredible musician. They are both incredible musicians. They write awesome music, and they just know there's just such soul. They're so soulful. Good for them. All right, guys, that's going to do it for me for today's entertainment news update here on HAPS, the news network of now. Until next time, I'll see you guys tomorrow with an incredible interview with an incredible person. We'll have that out for you guys. And stay safe, and see you guys soon. Boom. Bye, guys.